I don't know. I felt I really struggled early on to find my rhythm from the baseline. It was I wasn't sure how far in I should play in the court or how far back. So it was that was a struggle. I tried to other things in the second set, which then worked, and I was able to relax from the baseline. Was able to take the ball earlier and go through the ball, but I just could feel that the moment it was getting tougher, the game wasn't there, so it was just obviously missing way too much maybe to come through. Even though 4-3 in a break, your chances were all there. But again, I thought he played good down the stretch, and I just couldn't come up with the goods anymore at the end.
Ubaldo?
Yes. Ciao, Roger. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Hello.
Yeah, ciao, hello. Well, nice to see you again, even if it would have been better to see you after a win. But how much disappointed you are, in the sense that did you expect you could play much better than you actually did? And when you were up 4-2 in the third, you thought, okay, one match after the other, maybe next one I will be better and better. So it would have been important for you to play more matches in order to go to the Roland Garros, or not?
No, because Roland Garros is not the goal. The goal is the grass, so I still have time. And I mean, I'm disappointed for the tournament more than anything. I wish I could have stayed around and played some more matches for the people here, because the atmosphere still is considering very good, and they seem very happy to see me here. So of course at 4-2 in the third, you feel like, oh, that's nice that I was able to turn around the match. You start feeling better, and then that's when it just dips and everything's over 10 minutes later. But we know how tennis goes, and that's where it's so brutal sometimes, but I feel like I didn't deserve it at the end. There was just not enough happening in my game. I couldn't protect my serve in different ways. I couldn't break in different ways. I was a bit limited today, I felt, on the court. And obviously here in Geneva, in Switzerland, we always have a bit of altitude. So when you start to play in two minds, it gets very difficult. So obviously I wish I could have played more, but at the same time, look, it is what it is now. So you just gotta accept it and move on.
Andrew?
Hi, Roger. Obviously, as you said, you're disappointed, but I'm just curious how much you enjoyed just being on court and competing, given that you haven't really played many matches over the past year and change.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's good to be back on the court, but then you lose a match like this and you're like, I mean, you're down, just it never feels great. Look, I was looking forward to playing here, no doubt about it, but this is a press conference where I have to explain to you how I feel about losing, which is never the greatest way, trying to explain why and how it all happened. But yeah, of course, there was moments where I was really happy to entertain the crowd, and looking at the long road that I've been on, from the comeback. Sure, it's rewarding to be back on a tennis court, but I expect better from myself. I feel like in practice I've been playing better, even in practice here. But then again, as we know, matches are a different animal. So I got my work cut out there.
Tumaini?
Hi, Roger. You mentioned a few times that you were feeling kind of limited towards the end of the match. I was just wondering, was it kind of more like mental, in terms of like you weren't so sure of how you should play after so long, or was it just how you were feeling the ball and things like that?
No, I'm more referring to the fact that, when you're playing a certain match, you feel that, okay, if the backhand doesn't work out as well, you'll do this and you'll protect it differently. And if the forehand's not working out, you do this. If the serve's not working, well, I'll compensate it that way. And that's more what I was referring to. I wasn't sure how much margin I was having, even though I was up 4-2 in the third, and maybe it's also an uncertain feeling you get from not having played, because you're just not sure. But still, I was expecting myself to do better, but I don't know. I was struggling to play on the baseline. Maybe that's a Clay's thing too. It's fast, bad bounces, and the moment you start thinking about the bounces, you I don't know, you back up and then you just hit shots. And he was committed. You know, he started to hit some nice shots there. It's nothing I could have done better. Maybe I feel like I should have gone for my serve a bit more. Maybe at 15 love at 4-3, I believe, instead of just spinning it in. These are these little mistakes, or you know, even at the very end, the forehand I miss at deuce. I mean, I don't even know what I'm doing, you know. But these misses never really happen normally. So it's just, but these forehands do happen because of a reason, because of the feeling you get throughout the match, and not because of the moment itself. So, but margins are slim, so we've always known that, and it was a pity today that I couldn't squeeze it out.
Last one, English, Craig.
Roger, I'm sorry if I could ask you a couple of off-court questions or non-match questions because of some things I'm working on. When you were growing up and you started to really concentrate on your tennis and you were dedicating your time to all that, when you look back, do you feel you missed out on part of your childhood? And if so, are there any regrets on things that you might have missed out on?
You know how it is. You always feel like you do, and you always think that people have it better. You know, the ones that go out, or the ones that don't have to go to train. But looking back, I don't feel like I missed out at all, because I was able to start traveling Italy, even to the States or France or wherever, Spain, early, you know, at 12, 14, 16 years old. And that's what not others were able to do. You know, I enjoyed what I did. So looking back, I really have very little regrets. It wasn't easy, you know, between 14 and 16 being at the National Tennis Center, but I wanted to be there. So at the end of the day, I could always have pulled the plug and gone home again, you know, if I didn't enjoy it or it didn't work out. So no, I feel like I have very little regrets when it comes to missing out on my childhood, definitely.
And sorry.
Okay, quick one, Craig.
Yep. If I could also just ask, the Robert De Niro commercial, how much fun was it to do, and where did the concept come from?
I'm a creative producer, Swiss guy who's a really nice guy, and he's very creative. He won prizes, I believe, and he wanted to do something very different, you know. So, you know, we've seen a lot of tourism advertising that always seem the same. You know, you show your beauty of your country, and he said, like, we got to do it differently. We can't do another beauty ad, you know. And so this is when the idea came up to. Once he knew that I was part of it, he said, like, well, let's bring in somebody else so we can like feed off of one another. And I thought it would really worked out very well. Obviously, ads targeted towards the international tourists, you know, not so much the Swiss tourists. They know how nice Switzerland is. So no, it was good fun, and I really enjoyed it. And we got a lot of compliments from a lot of people, which was nice to hear.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Last one in English, Howard.
Roger, you mentioned, used a phrase like the goal is not Roland Garros, the goal is the grass. Sorry. I'm wondering how can a match like today and whatever may come in Paris, how does that help you prepare? And is it also about getting a sense of where things stand for you as opposed to what a result may be, or how that that particular match turns out on the clay when it comes to looking ahead to the grass?
I hope I understood correctly. I'm going to try, Howard. So how I'm going to try to explain it is that, you know, I think when you've played so little and you know where you're level at, and I think you saw that today, how can I think of winning the French Open? So the moment you know you're not going to win the French Open, it can't be your goal, and at least at my level. So I'm just realistic that I know I will not win the French, and whoever thought I would or could win it is wrong. Of course, crazier things might have happened, but I'm not so sure in the last 50 years of the French Open, somebody just rocked up at 40 years old, being out for a year and a half, and just go on and just wins everything straight, you know, or in 5 sets, whatever you want to call it. So that's why I know my limitations at the moment, you know, but that doesn't mean I'm maybe going to be hard to beat or whatever. But I think, so from that standpoint on, I know that it's all based and used for the grass court season or for the rest of the season. And I've said it several times that for me, really the season starts on the grass. And what's important now is these next few weeks, regardless if you play tournaments or not, is if you're back on the tour or you're practicing again with top guys, that you go through the rhythm of, you know, I don't know, add a press conference to it, add an appearance to it, add a meet and greet to it, add another practice with a top guy, then you play a match, then you recover, and you go back and forth, and do that many, many times. You start getting used to how it is and how it feels to be back on the tour. And this is then how you start taking better decisions then later on. And maybe little mistakes like happened towards down the stretch at the match today have a better chance of not happening than happening. And for that, you need to sometimes just put yourself out there. Sometimes it's not fun when you know where your limitations are. And obviously for me, it's always difficult because people expect a lot from me and I have high expectations for myself. So when I walk out of a match like today and I feel like, my God, I could play so much better, it feels strange and it's disappointing, but at the same time, this is the process I need to go through. And that's why I can't get too down on myself. And I need to go back to the drawing board and especially now talk to the team again, like we did after Doha, and say like, okay, what's the plan here now, the next 10 days and so forth. And did we learn something new? How did I feel on court? How do I feel, you know, next couple of days?